Thank you. Yeah, I'm going first because we had so much trouble setting up my computer that we don't want to unplug and risk having to set it up again. So I get to go first. I think I noticed in the program it was listed as the Association of Women in Mathematics. So that was a deliberate change in name at some point, that we are the Association for Women in Mathematics. We have a fair number, about 13% of our members are male. So it's in support of women in mathematics. It's not only women in mathematics who belong to the association, though. So what my main goal is, I'm going to tell you a little overview about a little bit of history and a little bit about what AWM does. But I'm trying to emphasize what you might get out of the organization and why you might be interested in the organization. But I thought I'd start with just a little bit of history. AWM was founded in 1971. Here are the pictures of the first two presidents of the association. Although that's Mary Gray, a recent picture of Mary Gray, not back from 1971. The situation for women was somewhat different back then. So I tried to find a few statistics about what things looked like back in the early 70s. The first few statistics actually came from around mid-70s. I wasn't able to find them for 1971. I looked at when the AMS first started collecting statistics on the women in the profession, and it was around the mid-70s. So in the mid-70s, of the PhDs in mathematics, about 11% were going to women by the mid-70s. Tenured women faculty at universities was around 5%. One of the statistics I really love, that back in 1971, the year that AWM was founded, the percentage of women who were speakers at the joint mathematics meetings, these huge, enormous meetings in January, was 0. So women were, it was pretty thin at the time. In my own graduate program, which there were 40 or 45 people, of which 2 of us were women, myself and somebody 2 years ahead of me, and that was it. So it was pretty thin. And there's a lot one could say. I don't have time, but I just want to refer you, if you're interested in what things were like then and in the early years of AWM. There's a wonderful article by Lenore Blum. I think she was the 3rd president of AWM. That can be found on our website. And I pulled out one quote that just really gives an idea of what things were like back then from her article. She says, women find the competitive situation, this was supposed to be advice to women, and this was published oops, sorry, what just happened? This was published as some advice to women in the Mathematical Sciences Employment Register in 1971. Women find the competitive situation in the government somewhat more advantageous to them, since it is relatively hard to secure a well-qualified mathematician for many higher-level government jobs. In many cases, women are welcome if their qualifications are better than those of the available men. So that was considered an okay thing to say back in 1971. And as Lenore Blum says after quoting this, need I say more? Association, so that was the situation back then, and a group of women got together and formed the Association for Women in Mathematics, which at that time was the Association of Women in Mathematics. The name was changed later. To address some of these issues. And the mission at the time and to this day, although the mission has expanded a little bit over the years, is to what you would expect. The mission of AWM is to encourage women and girls to study mathematics. So we do address girls in K through 12, encouraging them to be interested in mathematics, and then to support women who have chosen to pursue a career in the mathematical sciences and promote equal opportunity and equal treatment of women in the field. And I should say that I'll be using the word mathematics and mathematicians throughout. We view that in the broadest sense. I should say, really be saying the mathematical sciences every time I say mathematics, where we view mathematics in a very, very broad sense. In fact, more and more we're trying to appeal to women who work in industry and just across a broad spectrum of types of mathematics. It's now 2014, and I'm happy to say that quite a bit has changed since 1971, and so I pulled a few statistics out of a recent, one of the recent studies, what are they called? What's it called? thing. I can't. Yeah, the AMS, you know, in the notices where they publish these studies. Yes, thank you. Yeah, the annual study. Exactly, the annual CBS survey. So here are a few statistics for, I think they were 2012 are the most recent ones available. So percentage of women among undergraduate math majors is now around 34%. Around new PhDs in math is now up to around 28%. Postdocs in math are about 21%. Tenured track faculty at universities is now around 14%. The speakers at the most recent joint mathematics meetings who were female was about 30%. So things have certainly improved. On the other hand, if you take off this last line of the speakers, notice that there's still a significant drop-off as you go up the ladder. The percentages go down. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, and so in fact, if we go a little further up the ladder, things continue to get worse. So my claim is we're getting there, but we're not where we want to be yet, all right? Because, for example, the number of tenured faculty at major research universities is still around 8%. The number of AMS fellows, which is, you know, this recently created fellows program to honor people with, you know, high achievement in mathematics, is around number of women is around 10%. And then winners, if you look through lists of winners of major national and international prizes, it's pathetic. There are hardly any. And another disturbing trend is if you look at the percentage of women among new PhDs, it's been stagnant for the last 12 or 14 years now. It really hasn't gone anywhere. Okay? So there are still issues. We're not, you know, things have gotten better, but we're not really quite where we want to be or ought to be. So, oh yeah, this was a quote from a New York Times, a recent article by Eileen Pollack in the New York Times, saying exactly what I just pointed out. We need to make sure that we stop losing girls at every step of the ladder, at every step, as they fall victim to their lack of self-esteem, their misperceptions as to who does or doesn't go on in science, and their inaccurate assessments of their talents. So those are some of the things we've been talking about all day, right? And we see it in the fact that those numbers just drop as you climb up the ladder. Okay, so what's AWM doing, and what can you do to change this? Well, our programs, we have a wide variety of programs, and I've divided them up into a number of categories. And so one of our biggest ones, and the ones that I think apply most to this audience, is various activities that we have which are intended to help people build networks and encourage, so help people who have already chosen to go forward in some career in STEM or the mathematical sciences, to help them get more involved in their community and to build networks, a sense of community and networks between them. All right, so for example, we run a series of conferences and workshops for women designed to bring women together. These conferences and workshops are not so much what's going on here today, but they're actually research. They're focused on some research area. Sometimes, sorry? Okay, great. Yes. So you must have participated in one of our workshops at some point, yes. Yeah, so the idea is to bring women together, to share, both to meet each other and to get mentoring, but also to share research ideas, to share their research. So let me tell you what we, first I was going to say before I tell you the kinds of workshop, a little bit of a list of our workshops and conferences, I wanted to say that I really think, I think that attending things like conferences, workshops, events is just extremely important early in your career. It's really, really important, whether they be AWM type or anybody else's, just in general. Okay, so what's the reasons are that it's a way to build your networks. For the AWM ones in particular, are a way to connect with other women in the field. But in general, you need to not only connect, you need to connect with other. It's good to connect with other women to get mentoring experience, etc. But it's really important to connect with your research field, with your people in your research field, so that they know who you are, you know who they are, possibly start research collaborations, or even if it doesn't start a research collaboration, it's a way to publicize your work, whether you're giving a talk or perhaps just having tea with somebody and talking about what it is you're working on. It's a way to get your face out there, your name out there, your work out there, and hopefully once you've done that, that will lead to you're being invited to give a talk at someone's university or come to another conference or organize a special session, right? So it's really important that you not isolate yourself, that you get yourself out there and talk to other people in your field, okay? So I really would encourage you to take advantage of any opportunity to go to conferences and workshops. So here are some of the AWM workshops. We hold workshops at the two big annual meetings, the joint mathematics meetings in January and the SIAM meeting, Society for Industrial and Applied Mathematics annual meeting in July. These include research talks by postdocs, poster sessions for graduate students, usually, oops, I spelled that wrong, a panel, some kind of career panel, and also you'll get assigned a mentor, and there'll be some one-on-one mentoring time. And most of all, it's just a time to meet other people in your area and to get in contact with other women in the field. So in addition to those, we've started a series of large research symposia. These are big conferences that involve plenary talks, special sessions in various. The workshops are usually focused on one area of mathematics, not the poster sessions, but the talks are usually focused. But in the large symposia, we'll have like 8 or 10 different special sessions on different topics that cover a wide range of topics. Poster sessions, panels, receptions, et cetera, et cetera. They're wonderful opportunities to share, to meet people and share your research. We've had the first one of these was the 40th anniversary conference in 2011 at Brown. There was another one last spring at Santa Clara, and we're just in the early planning stages for our third one, which will happen next spring at the University of Maryland. Keep your eye out we'll be publicizing it in the newsletter, et cetera, and on our website, and I would urge you all to apply. We'll have money, hopefully. We've applied for money to help support people to come, and I hope some of you will think about participating. Yeah, did you have a question? Yeah, the research symposia is only, all the speakers are female and the session organizers are female and the people we support are female. It's an open conference. Anybody can attend, but it's mostly female. We usually, I forget what percent we had. At the 40th anniversary, there were quite a few men as well, actually, in the audience, but the speakers were all female. Okay, so yeah, so I would urge you to watch for this and try to participate. Okay, let me go quickly through some of our other programs that are I don't want to take up everybody's time. These are still for helping you form collaborations and networks. We have a travel grants program for granted, this came up earlier today. It doesn't apply to graduate students. It applies to people who are already, your early career women, but not graduate students, to attend conferences or just go work with a collaborator. That we have several times a year when we do this. I mean, you can go on our website and check into this. We also have something called a mentor network, which is designed to connect people in different types and different stages of types of mathematical careers in different stages in their career, connect them one-on-one with another mathematician to just share, talk about problems, et cetera. We have our teacher partnership program, which is, has an online forum linking teachers and other mathematicians in business, government, and industry to share experiences and just talk about issues. I guess that's our main mentoring. Oh, no, a few more. We have student chapters. Sorry? Oh, there. See, we've got all the people. There you are, right? We have student chapters, which are designed to bring undergraduates together, or graduate student and undergraduates. The best ones, I think, are the ones that integrate graduate students and undergraduates, so that the undergraduates have role models, and those are university by university. But we have a program. Again, it's on our website. It describes how to form a student chapter. So I would encourage you to form student chapters at your universities. Okay, so those were all activities designed for networking, building communities, etc. The other thing we've heard a lot about is the importance of role models, and also I've been reading lately, I don't think anybody's mentioned this yet today, about something called the implicit bias or unintentional bias, that when you automatically tend to make associations in your head subconsciously. If you grow up seeing all the mathematicians you know, or most of them you see when you're growing up are male, your brain just automatically associates male with mathematician. And what all these studies on implicit bias showed is that even when we're not aware of it, and even if we desperately want to be unbiased, our actions are affected by these unconscious associations, and it's very difficult to get around that. Okay, so how do you get around it? Well, you have to make it so that those associations aren't there anymore. We have to put more women up there so people don't just associate mathematics with male, right? So visibility is incredibly important. So visibility, that means, again, go to conferences. The more of you that are at conferences, the better. What is AWM doing aside from helping people go to conferences? Well, we take every opportunity we can to highlight the amazing work that women in mathematics are doing. We have all kinds of prizes, named lectureships. We have some big named lectureships, plenary lectures at the major meetings, at the JMM and the SIM and math meetings at MathFest. Lots of prizes. I won't go through the list, but there's some of our recent prize winners. You'll notice there's a male in there. That's the mentoring prize. He's a really amazing person who's really been amazing at encouraging women to get in, women and minority underrepresented groups to get involved in mathematics. So anyway, we have all kinds of prizes, and not only do we have prizes, by the way, but we've started trying to get nominations, more women nominated for prizes by other societies, like the AMS prizes. So we now have a survey where we ask people to suggest names of women that they think are well qualified or would be good candidates for prizes of other societies. And we then, for example, recently there was a deadline for nominating new fellows to the AMS. And I personally contacted, about a dozen chairs of departments or thesis advisors of people saying, by the way, so-and-so has been mentioned as a good candidate for AMS fellow. I hope you will consider nominating them, and that's it. But I got very, very good responses from this. Oh, yes, what a great idea. Or, oh, I'll do that. So just making sure that people think of who might be a good candidate. Just making sure that those names come to people's heads when they're in prize committees. So so we're trying to get suggestions which we will then simply pass on to relevant people as so-and-so has been mentioned as a possible candidate. So, so that's another thing we do. Okay, we also do have activities expanding the pipeline. This is activities aimed at K through 12, up through high school to try and interest women in studying math. We have a couple of programs, the Sonia Kovalevsky Mathematics Days for middle school and high school girls. These are one-day workshops, local things, just to try and, show girls, show them that it's fun and interesting, and and show them some role models. USA Science and Engineering Festival. I think I'm out of time. That happens every other year. We've had a booth at that each time, and it's been incredibly popular. We have a essay contest where young girls interview current mathematicians and write essays on them. One year we had over 100 entries. So anyway, you can go. The winning essays are on our website. So those are mostly aimed at younger girls. And finally, our last important thing that we do is keep people informed of both what's going on and what some of the issues are. And we do that mostly through our newsletter, which has, in addition to news and announcements, it has interviews with current mathematicians. We had an interview column on math and motherhood that's been going for the last year. We have a media column, education column, book reviews, et cetera, et cetera. And I used to have to say, join AWM. Well, you should join AWM. Join AWM so you can get the newsletter. It just went open access as of last month, so it's now absolutely open to anybody. Go to our website. It's there. Go read the newsletter. I hope you join anyway, but you don't have to read the newsletter. Okay, so what should you do to help? Take advantage of our programs. So we have travel grants. We have conferences. Take advantage of them. Go to the newsletter. Watch for announcements. In fact, join AWM, and then you will get the announcements of hey, this deadline's coming up, et cetera. Please get involved. Volunteer to work on one of our committees. Join AWM. Go to conferences. We already talked about that. Get out there. Be proactive in seeking out mentors and collaborators. Talk to people. And build yourself a network. And most importantly, don't get discouraged. Keep going. Pursue your goals. Do it. Just do it. So I'll end with that basically. This is a picture of a group of women in my field, geometric group theory. We have actually a wonderful, quite large group of women in geometric group theory. When we go to conferences, we always have a girls' night out. We have a great time. It's really. I'll end with the fact that I think careers in maths are just really wonderful, and a lot of us absolutely love it. And they look like they're having a good time, don't they? So stick with it. Thanks.